Guys, how are you all doing? It's Akara CC and I'm back again today with another interesting video. I trust you guys are doing great, having fun. Thank you so much for clicking to watch this video. So I have been seeing so many comments in my comment section, you guys requesting to see more of the healthy relationship videos. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it, like enough of the requests, okay? I am always at your service. But is that why you guys are not seeing my other videos? Guys, please support your girl. Feel free, go through my other videos, like go through my channel. You are gonna see amazing and interesting videos. Please drop your comments and don't forget to share. So in today's video, we are going to hear from these women who are in a healthy relationship, like literally sharing their stories, which inspired a lot of people and is still inspiring a lot of people. So I have put together a few videos from these women. Let's just hear from them. I mean, they are obviously in a healthy relationship and they are super happy. Please check these videos out.
If you're in a healthy relationship with a man, can you stitch this video and talk about it?
I don't know if this is what you're looking for, but I'll talk to you about my relationship with my spouse because for us, our relationship is very healthy. We support each other, we communicate really well, and we call each other on the things that we're not great at. My spouse put me on a budget, but not because I overspend on things. I can spend however many dollars we have on food, things for the kids, things for myself, things for our house, things for our pets. As long as we have enough money to pay the bills, I can spend however many dollars I want. However, if I do not at least spend $25 on myself every month, there's this list of stuff on Amazon that I was looking at and considering whether or not I wanted. And if I don't spend $25 on myself, he's going to go to Amazon and buy something off my list and it's just going to show up at the house. This is non-negotiable for him. Me doing kind things for myself is a thing that is important to him because the trauma that I have means I don't do nice things for myself. My spouse has ADHD and lack of impulse control, so he also has a number of dollars that he is supposed to spend on himself every month, and that is about $25 on things that don't matter, and then he has his budget for how much he has to spend when he's out in his truck, so that he can survive and we still have enough money for bills. And the responsibility I take up is to support him and encourage him to be successful at sticking to that budget. And that was not easy for him at first, but now he's very proud of himself that he can do that, and I praise him a lot for not overspending. And he praises me every time I spend money on myself, and now I don't feel guilty every time I do it. Being in a healthy relationship with my spouse means that we don't generally sleep in the same bed. We don't. He's a truck driver now, but when he wasn't, he slept somewhere else because he is a person that snores as though a chainsaw and a snowblower fucked and created a person. And that meant that I was mean and tired and sick all the time because I couldn't sleep. It was more important to him for me to be a kind, compassionate human being than for other people to look at our relationship and say, "Are you guys doing okay? Because you're not sleeping in the same bed. Are you fighting?" He doesn't fucking care. He would much rather sleep somewhere else so that when we're awake, we can have a great time together than to demand that we sleep next to each other because society says we should. My spouse and I have topics that we don't discuss. And we don't discuss them because we've discussed them in the past and we've come to the conclusion that we have different thoughts and opinions on those matters, and he respects me enough that I'm allowed to have my opinion, and I respect him enough not to try and convince him that he's wrong. I can believe he's wrong. He can disagree with me with every ounce of his being. But because we are separate people, we have decided that we don't have to agree on everything just because we're in a relationship together. Being in a healthy relationship means my spouse can look at me and go, "You look sexy." And I can say, "But I don't feel sexy right now." And he says, "That's all right, babe. You want to pop some popcorn and watch a movie?" And he can do the same thing. Relationships are just about communication and supporting each other to be better people. And sometimes you will fight, sometimes you will fail, but at the end of those things, You talk about it. And then you decide what to do next. My spouse and I communicate very clearly. I say, hey, I need you to do this so I feel important. And then he will say to me, yeah, I got that. I can do that. Or, hey, that's going to be really hard for me to accomplish. I need you to remind me or find a way to fill that need yourself. And he can do the same thing to me. And we don't get our feelings hurt about it. We're just being honest about what we want and what we need. And if we can't do that for each other, it's unreasonable to expect the other person to go without that thing. Whether that be somebody that you can discuss a book with or somebody you can go out and have drinks with. I give 0 fucks. And so does he. Being in a healthy relationship is going to look very different depending on who you are and what you need to feel supported in life. And you're also going to have to consider who you are dating or marrying and what they need. Healthy relationships don't all look the same, but they all are based in good communication and supporting each other in the things that we're not very good at.
Wow. Guys, I enjoyed that video. I mean, that was amazing. I didn't want her to stop. Like, wow. I told you that one of the keys to a healthy relationship is communication. And I'm happy that people are emphasizing on that. Communication. Let's see other videos.
If you're in a healthy relationship with a man, can you stitch this video and talk?
I'm in the best relationship I've ever had in my life. I have secure attachment. I have an equal partner. He notices when things need to get done, and he does them without me having to tell him. We live together. It's amazing. It was not always this way, though. I was having bad relationship after bad relationship, and I really took a look at myself, and I learned about attachment style. I also did Sex and Love Addicts Anonymous recovery, and I did a really deep dive into my childhood trauma and realized why I was showing up the way I was showing up in relationships, why I was allowing the abuse that I was allowing because of my childhood, and also why I was begging for crumbs with every single guy that I was with, no matter what, even if they were horrible to me. So I was celibate for a year as I was doing this work, and then I met this man that I'm with right now, and I immediately got over-attached, freaked out, and glommed onto him, and I was like, I want to have babies with you. And he at first was like, I want to have babies with you too, and then all of a sudden like was pretty ice cold. So for the next 2 years we were long distance. I didn't see him again, and we just talked on the phone sometimes, and we were working on this relationship. We were working on our attachment styles, and eventually I realized I was chasing him around. You know, I needed to cut it off. No matter how bad I wanted it, I had to stop the pattern that I was in. And so I did, and I watched Sprinkle Sprinkle. I watched a lot of TikTok tarot card readings, and I realized I had to pull my energy back and trust the divine to give me the relationship that I deserved. So I cut him off. We didn't talk for 4 months. It was kind of mutual. And then after those 4 months, I had intuition to call him on a certain day. And I called him, and then 4 days later, I saw him for the second time, and he got me pregnant. So we have a baby now, and we have a long history of working out our problems and working together, and it's really, really, really beautiful.
If you're in a healthy relationship with a man, can you stitch this video and talk about it?
So my perfect man ended up being my ex. That's a statement I can only make with him. So I had met him when I was a junior in high school, and he was just fresh out of boot camp in the Marines. And I had gone to a party with another gentleman at the time that I was dating, and I go into the bathroom, and when I come out, I don't know, like 10-15 minutes later, because I got dressed, you know, I was trying to get on a cute little dress and be all cute and look attractive for the guy I was there with, and I walk out, ta-da, and everyone's gone. Except for this 6'3" redheaded dude that I had never met in my life. So awkward seeing him there. I remember you just seeing, he's like, hi, hello, I'm Ben, and proceeded to tell me that the guy I had gone to the party with had decided that it was more important to go get alcohol in a town that was about an hour away and not tell me because it wasn't a big deal. And Ben had felt bad, so instead of going, he stayed. to tell me that I was alone. So he told me, I remember that he was going to go to the jacuzzi and invited me to join him, but I was 17 years old. I wasn't about to, I didn't know who he was. What? No, stranger danger. So he felt bad, and, you know, he put one chair on one end of the room and put another chair on the opposite side of the room and told me, you know what, I'll stay behind, you know, we can get to know each other. I don't want to leave you alone in the hotel room. If it's okay, you know, we can sit here and I'll keep my distance. I want to make sure you feel safe. Let's go ahead and get to know each other. And so we did. And we spent the next couple hours getting to know each other. And by the end of the night, he got my number. A few weeks later, we were dating. And it sadly only lasted a few months. Long distance, it was complicated, you know, and he had grown up seeing what military things do to families and didn't want to do it. Especially because he told me, you know, and this is something I know now, but he told me that he was very afraid of how in love he was with me. So he broke it off. Fast forward 12 years, and I am just getting out of a very abusive relationship. Hardest thing I had ever done. That guy was absolutely dreadful for me. Gave me terrible body issues, you know, body shamed me all the time. And it was a very toxic relationship, and I'm not perfect. I have a lot of things I need to work on, but ooh, yikes. But I was at work one day, and this is, you know, months after I broke it off with my ex, and something a coworker and I were talking about made me think of Ben. And I went back and forth all day debating if I should talk to him, you know, message him, because I hadn't talked to this dude in 12 years. It's awkward. You know, and I never forgot his last name. It's a very distinct Polish last name, but I decided to message him. And he replied to me the next day. And fast forward a couple years later, and we have a beautiful 1.5-year-old boy. And I am shocked by how in love I am with one person. He's my best friend. You know, it hasn't been perfect. We've each had our own trauma to get through. You know, him is very PTSD, and that's very, very hard. Anyone who suffers from PTSD, I'm so sorry. And that's whether it is trauma based from, you know, your childhood or military. You know, and I also deal with my own version from growing up in a very kind of abusive household. And it's hard. It's hard to get over triggers, and it's hard to not feel a certain way about things. But Ben has showed me how much somebody can devote themselves to being a better person for their partner, who can devote themselves to improving with how they approach things in the world, who wants to be the person that breaks the cycle for their kid, who makes it okay for me to be myself, has never shamed me for being just who I am, which is something that I hadn't experienced from any relationship, unfortunately. Who is so creative and who gets really, really excited about the silliest things when it comes to Dungeons and Dragons, and, you know, who is obsessed with Lord of the Rings the way I am, and who likes to read, and who splits the household chores with me. What, ladies? You know, it's so shocking how much men just don't want to clean and do things around the house, and who makes an effort even when he's tired. You know, he suffers from, he's retired from the military, and he suffers from herniating discs in his back. And he's always in some type of pain. But that man does not let that be a reason of why he can't love me. And, you know, he wakes up, we take alternate mornings on taking our son. So I get to sleep in, he gets to sleep in. And he's helpful. And he's funny. And, he's my fucking best friend. I love him with all of my heart. And I'm so grateful he came back into my life. Yeah. And I messaged him. It's funny because I messaged him on the day that he decided the next morning he was going to break whatever cycle he was in of toxic things that he was dealing with. And he was like, that's it. I'm moving. I'm buying a house. That was the day I messaged him. And now we're here. True love is out there, guys. I promise.
If you're in a healthy relationship with a man, can you stitch this video and talk about it? I'm stuck in the algorithm.
So I have been with my husband for 5 years. We've been married for 2 years. And one story about him, this actually happened recently. We went to a store to get some stuff to make dinner, and I wanted some sandwich oil, a specific kind of sandwich oil, and it said they had it at the store. We go there, they don't have it. I'm like getting frustrated. Why is the universe out to get me? He says, let's go to another store and see if they have it. We go to a second store, they do not have it. I'm on the edge. I'm not having a good time. I'm hungry. He says, I will take you home and I will go to a third store and look for your sandwich oil. And he drops me off at home. I start making dinner. He goes to a third store. They don't have the specific brand, but they have a submarine sandwich oil. He buys it. He brings it home. I whip up our sandwiches. We eat delicious chopped sandwiches. And it's nice. It's really nice.
If you're in a healthy relationship with a man, can you stitch this video and talk about it? I'm stuck in the algorithm.
Yes, sis, I got you. Okay, so been married almost 9 years, and number one, you have to keep God first. Like, that's just point blank period. I really shouldn't have to explain it, but you plus the creator and your spouse is thumbs up. Okay, one of the biggest problems is people be adding all kinds of other people in the mix. This is not stew, this is not soup, this is not gumbo. No. Okay. Number two, it is a process. Okay. If you think it's going to be magical on day 2, you're wrong. It could be honeymoon stages, but you got to know that at some point it's going to get a little shaky. It's going to get a little different, and you got to be ready for that. And number 3, it's about compromise. Okay. One band, one sound, one team. You can do this. I believe in you.
If you're in a healthy relationship with a man, can you stitch this video and talk about it?
Yes, I can answer your question. I am in a healthy relationship with a man, and we met online. I actually used this website or dating application called Zooks, and I came across it when I was looking online, and there was like a little questionnaire. If you answer these questions, it would tell you the best dating application for you. So I took it, and it directed me to Zooks. And the gentleman and I had been texting for about a week, and I just like, man, he seems too good to be true. I want to see if this is a real thing. So one day I randomly asked him if he could meet me after work for some coffee, and we met. And I can tell you literally, when I saw him for the first time, there was a little flutter in my heart. Having a connection and just feeling like, ooh, I want to be next to that person was really important to me. I wanted to have chemistry. And from the first moment we met, that chemistry existed. And we talked that night for 2.5 hours. And that was about 4 years ago. And to this day, neither of us know what that conversation was really about. But what I do know, it was a good conversation because we did get married last year in February. And I will say, I had been married before. My late husband passed, and I was a widow, and I think I'll be a widow for a part of who I am forever. But that relationship with my late husband was great. and I didn't think that I would ever be able to connect with someone else again. And to my surprise, I was able to do that. And there is a post on my TikTok to show about marrying my current husband. And some of the questions you asked about how we've been together and how we met, I think I answered that. What do I love about him? I love that he meets me right where I'm at. I love that he loves me and he never makes me feel uncomfortable about when I'm grieving my late husband. I love how he's accepted my family and my children. We live next door to my mom and sister, and he is such a protector. I love that when I feel weak, that he makes me feel strong. I love that I have started a organization to support other widows, and he is my biggest supporter and always encouraging me. I love that we both enjoy reading. We enjoy traveling together. We enjoy going for walks and hikes. We have TV programs that we enjoy watching. And girl, he loves to cook. Yes, he does the cooking and I get to do the eating. I don't have to be bothered about that. Like, he takes over the kitchen. I'm like, are you serious? I love our ability to communicate. We talk about almost everything. Well, not in the morning before he's had a cup of coffee, because that is not something he will tolerate. And the dynamics of our relationship, I like them. And at this more mature age of our life, I think you have a clearer understanding of what you're looking for in a relationship and what those dynamics are, what you will accept and what you will not accept. And there were a lot of things I wasn't willing to accept. I wanted to be very clear. I wanted a monogamous relationship. That was something else he wanted. Just talking about all those different things was helpful. And thank you for the question. I enjoy being with him, obviously, and I wish you the best of luck in finding something that works well for you. Talk to you later. Bye.
If you're in a healthy relationship with a man, can you stitch this video and talk about it?
Hi there. As somebody who has been happily married for the past 13 years, I do have a memory that I think about all the time around this time of year. And the reason why is because Christmas time for me, like a lot of people, is actually a pretty traumatizing time of year. My birthday's also close to around this time, and it didn't work out in my favor when I was growing up. So it's just a hard time for me around this time. And when I was first starting to date my husband, I explained that to him and I said, listen, I'm not the typical person that's going to get super excited around the holiday time. I really don't like gifts. It makes me really uncomfortable. I love giving gifts, but I don't like receiving them. It's part of my trauma. So he just knew that I was sensitive around this time of year. And the first year we were dating, we were dead broke. I was just coming out of college. He didn't have a whole lot of money himself. We were living in an apartment together and we were making it work, but we didn't have a whole lot of extra money for like holiday decorations or Christmas trees or anything like that. And again, I had told him it was always something that I wanted as far as like being able to get into the holiday cheer. I just could never bring myself to be cheerful about anything around that time of year. So he took all that into consideration. But one time I came home from work and I was surprised because I had seen a Christmas tree in our living room and it was like fully decorated with ornaments. It had even like a tree skirt and everything. And I was so confused. I'm like, oh my gosh, where did we get all this stuff? And he had explained that his part-time job, he had his manager was getting rid of a bunch of Christmas stuff. And she was like, I'm going to throw stuff out, but do you need anything? You know, I don't want to just throw it out if there's somebody that can repurpose it. And he said, oh my gosh, like I'll take all the stuff. There's my girlfriend at the time we were dating. He said, my girlfriend, she doesn't really believe in like Christmas magic, but I think it'd be really cool if I could, do something sweet for her and like make it a magical place, even though we didn't really have a lot back then. And so that's how he had acquired all this Christmas stuff. And it looked beautiful. He had decorated it. But the only thing that he didn't have was a star at the top of the tree. He had all the ornaments. He had everything else, but he didn't have a star at the top of the tree. And so when by the time I had gotten home, he had figured out a solution for the star. And what he did is he took aluminum foil and he made a 5-point thing, like an image to make it like a star. But he didn't know how to secure it to the top of the tree. So he had to make basically a cone, at the bottom of the star. So it kind of looked like the star had an appendage. It looked like the star was well endowed. But it worked because it had a way to like secure on the top of the tree. And so he had this aluminum star tree, the aluminum star on the top of the tree. And it was just one of those things that it was so silly because like the way that it looked like the star was just like, it looked like its arms were like sticking out and then it just like was presenting its, but anyway, I was very emotional. I actually started crying when I saw the setup when I got home, and he thought it was goofy, thought it was silly. He's like, listen, we didn't have a star, so this is kind of ghetto, but I wanted to put something on top because I think it's important to not only celebrate this time of year because it's the one time of year that we get to kind of be encouraged to be in the light. And especially since it's around my birthday, and he's always taken my birthday very seriously and has always treated it like a separate event, which is really big to me. The effort that he had put in, because we had only been dating for a couple of months at that point, it was so thoughtful, it was so sweet, and it was the start of so many other little things like that he did for me in the past 13 years we've been together. And I have so many stories about just the kindness that he came with. So absolutely, there are good men out there. They are not as common to come across, but the way that men love sometimes, it's a beautiful thing when they care. If he cares, he'll do it.
If you're in a healthy relationship with a man, can you stitch this video and talk about it? I'm stuck in the algorithm.
I just want to use the video I just stitched as an opportunity to brag on my husband a little bit because he has been amazing the entire time that we've been together. We've been together for 10 years, married for almost 9. He's an amazing father, but more importantly, he's an amazing partner to have in life. We truly are partners in everything. I don't have to worry about having to cook every night or clean everything in our house because he does half of that stuff. He does half the laundry. He does probably more of the grocery shopping than I do. And he's not the type to keep score. In fact, I'm the one in our relationships that keeps score, and I've had to learn how to stop doing that because it's not about keeping score, right? And he has taught me that. This year, he has especially been amazing. My mother got really sick this summer, and in August, she passed away. And he has been just such a light and a supportive partner as I have worked through my grief, and also just needed to be away from my family, first to take care of my mom when she was sick, and then to deal with my mother's estate. This Christmas, he really stepped up to give me the space to grieve, but also do some of the things that I wanted to do to give me and the rest of my family some joy this holiday season, even though we're missing my mom. And he's just so amazing and fantastic. He's not perfect by any means. He's got his faults too, but when I read and I hear these stories of these women with these husbands that don't do a damn thing, who just sometimes don't even go to work, but if they do, they go to work and they just come home and they don't do anything with the kids, anything around the house, didn't buy them anything for Christmas. That's not my reality. My husband does all of that and more. He is so great, and I'm so thankful and lucky that I have him. And more importantly, I keep telling him, I'm like, you stuck with me, bro, because ain't no way I'm going back out there in the dating pool. No way, shape, or form. Like, I am just so lucky and thankful that I found my person, and I hope that you, original post creator, find your person, and that other ladies out there, you find your person too. But do not settle to just have a man. You want you a man that will help you. If he can't help you and make your life better, you don't need him. And I'm very, very lucky that I have one in my life who genuinely makes my life better. So, husband, if you ever see this video, thank you and I love you.
Guys, I am super happy and excited that I reacted to these videos because these videos are so inspiring. Okay, I just didn't want to stop. I don't want this video to be too long. Now, if you have been following me on this channel, you could tell that I have done part 1, part 2, up to part 6. And in those videos, I shared my story. So in case you don't know, I am in a healthy relationship, very healthy relationship, and this is my 10th year. Okay. My husband is amazing. He helps me. I don't need to ask. I don't need to tell him. I don't need to beg him. He knows what to do. He knows my kids' routine. Okay. Now in the morning, he wakes up, and most times I'll be the first person to wake up. I'll wake him up. Either way, okay. Both of us will wake up, and then we would like get the kids ready for school. He does the school run. He takes them to school and brings them back. Like, it's been an amazing 10 years of our lives together. And I mean, we are grateful that we are together, and also we are grateful to God. I can literally share my story all day, but please see the part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this healthy relationship series. Just go through my channel. You are going to see loads of these videos, but let me know if you guys want me to do more. And of course, I would love to hear your story, likewise every other person, in the comments. And thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, share, comment, and of course come back for another video. Please support your girl, hit the subscribe button, and come back for more videos. I'm gonna see you all in my next one. Yeah, take care. Bye.